Hello students, in today's class let us see the poem The Pulley, which is written by George Herbert. Poem The Pulley. George Herbert, hope many of you know that he is one of the famous metaphysical poets. He was born on 3rd April 1593 at Montgomery, Wales, and he studied at Trinity College, then studied at Cambridge University. Then, if we know the profession of George Herbert, he was a poet, priest, theologian, and a good orator. When we see the style of poetry, George Herbert's poems or his style of poetry is metaphysical poetry. When we see his popular works or famous works are The Temple, The Country Parson, and Jacula Pendentum. And when we see the characteristics of Herbert's poetry, his poems are a deep religious devotion. We find a deep religious devotion in his poems. In this poem, The Pulley, also we have this characteristic. And linguistic precision and metrical agility, and he is ingenious use of conceit. That's why Samuel Taylor Coleridge wrote about George Herbert's diction that nothing can be more pure, manly, and unaffected. These are some of the characteristics of George Herbert's poetry. We can find all these characteristics or many of the characteristics in the poem The Pulley. This poem is also the poem when let us see the poem The Pulley. This poem The Pulley is also known as the gifts of God. The early name or another name of this poem The Pulley is the gifts of God. And this poem is based on the story of creation which we find in Old Testament of Bible. In which he says the man was the last to be created. And in this poem, poet discusses the gifts which is provided by God to humankind, mankind. Now let us read the poem first and let us explain that poem after reading this. You too can repeat that, or you too can read that by seeing the slide. Let us see the poem. The Pulley. When God at first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by, let us, said he, pour on him all we can. Let the world's riches, which dispersed lie, contract into a span. So strength first made a way. So strength first made a way, then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, pleasure. When almost all was out, God made us stay. Perceiving that alone of all his treasure, rest in the bottom lay. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature. So both should losers be. Yet let him keep the rest. Yet let him keep the rest. But keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, that at least, if goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast. If goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast. See, this is the poem. The language which is used in the poem is very easy. If you read the poem twice, thrice, you will unfold the meaning by yourself. So, let us see the meaning in detail. But my suggestion to you is that read the poem before listening to the meaning which is said in this slide, which I am going to say. Beforehand, stop video here and read the poem. Unfold the meaning. See the meaning, what you get, and then once again come. I cannot say that what I am saying is the exact meaning. Maybe you can come across with some other meaning. Hope that should not leave the track. That's all. Let us see the poem. Let us see the meaning, what we have in this poem. The poem has a story like beginning. It begins with the theme of creation of man. Here in this poem, God is seen as a loving father, where God holds a glass of blessings. God means a glass of gifts, a bundle of gifts. He wants to bestow on man, humankind, man, his child. Man doesn't mean that only a person. It means a humankind. He wants here Here in this sentence, I want to tell you that he which is used by me here is he is God. And man doesn't mean only one person, man means humankind. God wants to bestow or bestow means he wants to give gifts, presents on the mankind or to the mankind for whom he has used his child. Those gifts, he wants to give those gifts which he is holding in a glass. ಒಂದು ಬಂಡಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ದೇವರು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನು ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಕುಲಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನು ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. As I told you in the beginning, this is the story of creation which is taken from the Old Testament biblical theme. And here these gifts are the qualities one should possess. What gifts? If you listen the word gift, then our youth will go to the world of fantasy, and they will remember the gifts like watch and other some gift items they will imagine of. But here the gift doesn't mean those things, but gift means the qualities. God wants to bestow on man. God wants to give those gifts, those qualities to the man. ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನು ದೇವರು ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅದೇ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದೇ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದು. ಏನೇನು ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ? ದಟ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಾಡ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್. He wants to give the gift of strength. And second blessing he wants to give the gift of beauty, which is followed by wisdom, honor and pleasure. Strength, shakti, beauty, saundarya, honor, it is honor, wisdom, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಪ್ಲೆಷರ್, ಸಂತೋಷ. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ದೇವರು ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ These are the gifts which bestow on man by God. He gives the strength, beauty, wisdom, honor, then pleasure. He gives all these gifts to man. God had kept rest at the bottom of that glass. God was holding those gifts in a glass. Everything was poured on the man, on mankind. But rest, the quality of rest was at the bottom of that glass. God did not bestow it on man. God did not give this quality, the quality of rest on man. ದೇವರು ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ಸಂತೋಷವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತನ್ನು, ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ಸೌಂದರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ಸಂತೋಷ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ. ಆದರೆ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಆದಂಥ ಅದನ್ನು ಅವನು ಒಂದೇ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ದೇವರು. He did not bestow it on man. God's thought whether to give it to man or not. ನಂತರ ದೇವರು ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ, ರೆಸ್ಟನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ಲಾ ಬೇಡವಾ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ದ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವೆನ್ he thought that, he came to the conclusion that I should not give that rest to man. He had given the strength, as we see in this slide, that he had given the strength. ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಸರ್ ದೇವರು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಈ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಸಂತೋಷವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಏನು ಸರ್ ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ. ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನೆಮ್ಮದಿನೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಬೇಕಾದ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯವನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, ನಾವು ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂಶವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅದು ದೇವರಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಿಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೆನಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ. ಈವನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ, they are not leading a peaceful life. In the next class, we will discuss why he has not given the rest, why he has not bestowed that quality on man, why he has not given that quality on man, for what reason he has not given that. In the next class, we will discuss that. Until that, thank you. Read the poem and